It's Kevin Begley. We are here at Orange Ale House backstage for our next Star 99.9 Michael's Jewelers acoustic session with Cold War Kids, and I'm so excited for today. I've been a big fan of you guys for a while now, and working in radio, you know, it's no secret that a lot of the songs we play aren't always in my personal collection, but when a song comes along that is a band that I actually love, it's really great. So thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So this kind of weird story. I saw you guys 2 years ago at Terminal 5 in New York City, and Facebook has this new app that tells you, like, this happened on this day 2 years ago, and it was last night.
Oh,
so
wow.
I feel like we're weirdly connected.
2 years, yeah.
That's cool.
Which is kind of neat. So you guys are playing Toads tonight. Have you played at Toads before in New Haven?
I don't think so. I don't think so, no.
It's a really neat venue. It's got a lot of history there. I think you're going to really love it. So
Cool.
That Terminal 5 show was so great, and when I heard that you guys were playing Toads, I was like, oh, this is going to be just like that. It's awesome.
Totally, yeah. We'll be at Terminal 5 the next night.
Cool.
I believe, yeah.
Being a band in 2015, is it less boring, do you think, than the bands who came up in like the 70s and 80s? Because, you know, with Netflix and smartphones and iPads, like, do you think it's less boring now because there's not as much downtime? There's more to do?
It's a really interesting question that I feel like people, you know, when you think about, we're like on the drive here, 2-hour drive, would you say? There's like,
2 hours.
you know, there's DVDs going on, there's podcasts going on, there's like the amount of busyness of your brain is just, you know, it's so, especially if it's productive in some way, that you can kill the enormous amount of hours. It's about, I think, like, you know, if you can, you know, channel that time into something, you know, whether creative or learning something or just, you know, I have to imagine it's so much better than what it would have been like to tour the country over and over again,
right?
With nothing, but because I think that's when you need drugs,
right?
I think that's when you have to turn to honestly something just to do something.
So I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing because, you know, maybe people were more creative when they had not as much.
It's definitely possible.
I
do think, you know, a lot of creativity comes out of real restriction of having nothing to do.
But it must have just been so boring.
Yeah, because that amounts to the guy behind you, you know, playing an acoustic guitar in a van for 12 hours and driving you nuts, and maybe he gets a good song out of it, but it's making everyone crazy.
Right. So this week, I'm sure you've seen, because it was everywhere, the Back to the Future Day, which was the other day. If you guys could go back to the early 2000s, before Cold War Kids, and tell Cold War Kids something, whether it's advice, bet on the Mets, you know, anything, what would you say to Cold War Kids back in, like, 1999, early 2000s?
Good question.
What would we say?
I don't know.
I guess, like, maybe, I think being less self-aware. Like, I feel like in the first, you know, half of the years of the band, we thought, I don't know, we weren't thinking so much about how people, I think we were overly sensitive about how people viewed us in ways that didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
And now, like, I think we're much more, you know, we have a large audience, and
totally.
And you learn how to, like, be an artist and you know, on the record and sort of be a separate person in an environment like this.
Right.
And I guess that, you know, that takes a lot of time to learn that. We didn't, like, grow up in any kind of, like, entertainment world. I think people who have understand that faster, that sense of, like, it's be creative, and then you can also be, you know, separate from that when you're meeting fans, when you're doing whatever. But
and I'm sure there's things that happened along the way that, you know, that you would have wanted to happen, whether it was good or bad, just so you learn from it, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. So we do these we've been doing these acoustic sessions for years now. We've had so many bands come through. When you guys were growing up as kids, or even now, because we have a lot of young people that come to this. We have fans, you know, obviously fans of your band, Star listeners, everyone. What band would you want to see in an intimate acoustic setting like this? If it could be either today or when you were younger?
We're big fans of The Clash. I know that when they had, like, this phase of late in their career where they started doing, like, street busking, like, acoustic style.
Yeah.
That would have been insane to see.
That's a good one. REM or the U2.
That would have been cool too.
Yeah, I think REM would be cool.
Yeah. Those huge bands, you know, to see them in this, those kind of epic, like, stadium bands. Yeah. So your single first, we're playing here on Star. It's been one of the most successful singles, I think, over the years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So how has that been? Because it's sort of, I come from an alternative radio background, so I was familiar with a lot of your songs from over the years. And now that this one has sort of crossed to hot AC and pop, and it's getting a larger audience, are you seeing that at the shows? Is it a little different?
It's interesting. I think because we've been a band for so long and people have known our name for a long time, and now to have a song that's doing so well on radio and to have that sort of opposite thing where people are like, oh, what band? A song that's speaking louder than the band.
Yeah.
It's interesting for us. I think I don't know how much it's totally transferred to like those just radio people, coming to the shows and knowing, but it's that's part of what's rad about it, though. Just kind of seeing that little
the
change.
Different people and different fans.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. We've been pumped for this for a week, so we can't wait. And the show tonight at Toads in New Haven should be awesome. So thank you guys so much. Cool
Thanks
work,
for
kids.
having us. Yeah.
Thank you.